Assalamu alaikum, students. I hope you are all fine and everything is great. Today, we're going to start a new topic, which is natural phenomena. We're going to be introduced to some of the natural phenomena that happens around the world. Okay, make sure that you open your book, your student's book, page 68. Natural phenomena. Exercise number 2. Match the words with a natural phenomena. Avalanche. Avalanche is a large mass of snow, ice, rocks, or any other materials that come down the mountainside. So, which is the appropriate picture? Yes, number 5. Drought. Drought is one of the causes of extensive damage to plants because of lack of water within the ground. Which is the appropriate picture? Yes, number 2. Tornado. Tornado is a violent destructive wind or a violent windstorm. So, which is the appropriate picture? Number 3. Earthquake. It is a shaking or trembling of earth. So, which is the appropriate picture? Number 4. Correct. Thunderstorm. It is a storm accomplished by lightning or thunder. Which is the appropriate picture? Yes. 6. Finally, hurricane. It is a tropical cyclone with winds up to 74 miles per hour. It is usually accomplished by rain, thunder, lightning, and sometimes move within temperatures. Yes, it is picture number 1. Now we're going to start another activity which is about periods of times, which is exercise 3 on page 68. The following words express periods of time: millennium, decade, fortnight, quarter, leap year, and century. A period of 366 days is called a leap year. A period of 2 weeks is called a fortnight. 3 months is called a quarter. 10 years is called a decade. 100 years is called a century. And finally, 1,000 years is called a millennium. This was all for the vocab on page 68. Please make sure that you do your homework, which is your workbook, page 60. Hope I see you soon. Best wishes, your English teacher. Assalamu alaikum, students. How's your day? I hope it's going well. Today, we're going to start with a new topic: global issues, which are in your student book, page 70. What are global issues? Global issues are those matters that affect the whole world. One of the most recent ones is coronavirus. Hope you all feel safe, and let's start with our lesson. Child labor. Child labor is the employment of children. Those children that we talk about are under the age of 18, and they are being forced to work in order to provide for their families or for some grown-ups. Disease. What is a disease? It is illness or sickness. One of the most current diseases is the coronavirus the world is dealing with. Endangered species are animals that are very likely to get extinct. The most common are pandas and white tigers. Famine. Famine is another global issue. It is a great shortage of food. And when we talk about shortage of food, that means the basic needs for your body to grow. Floods and landslides. Flood is rising and overflowing of water, as in picture 1. Landslide is a rapid downward movement of a mass of rocks or earth, as in picture number 2. Global warming is a gradual increase in the overall temperature of Earth's atmosphere, generally attributed to greenhouse effect, caused by increased levels of carbon dioxide, CFCs, and other pollutants. So, most of the temperature changes and weather changes that we are dealing with nowadays goes back to global warming. Homelessness, having no home or permanent place of residence. Imagine that. Imagine how would those people feel who have no roofs above their heads. So be thankful for having a warm meal, a happy family, and a home. Piracy, the act of robbing overseas. It is when those pirates attack a ship and try to steal what's on it, either if it's goods or gold or even money from the people that are on that ship. Piracy, the unauthorized use or reproduction of others' work. So, the next time you want to publish a book of your favorite author, you have to take permission from him. Other than that, you will be considered doing piracy. Pollution, the presence of substances which are harmful or poisonous to the environment. Factories cause a lot of pollution, either by the smoke that they produce, causing air pollution, or by different water that they dump in rivers and lakes, causing the death of hundreds of water creatures. Poverty, the state of lacking money or material possessions. Racism, the belief that all the members of a certain race possess qualities or abilities that are superior or inferior to other races. As you can see from the picture, we have different people with different skin colors. Once one of them thinks that he is better or less than the others, this is considered racism. After we've been introduced to the definitions of the given words, let's have a quick look at exercise 1. Match the photos from 1 to 6 with the words from the box. Number 1. Homelessness. As you can see, the man is sleeping on the street. He doesn't have anywhere else to go, so that means he doesn't have a home. Number 2. The child is making a rug, so that means this is child labor. These children are being forced to work in order to provide for their families or to get money. 3 is a panda. We previously saw that a panda is yes, it is an endangered species. Next, number 4 is pollution. Because of the thick smoke that you can see. 5 is famine or poverty. 6, it's floods. Because as you can see, there is a lot of water and people are walking through muddy streets. Finally, I hope to see you soon. But before we go, please make sure that you do your homework, which is your workbook page 63. Thank you. Warm regards, your English teacher. Assalamu alaikum. How are you today, students? I hope everything is going well. As you can see today, we are going to discuss I wish. which is in your student book, page 71. As you know, the verb wish is actually used to express our desires or things that we actually want to do. But this time, we are not going to use it in this way. We are going to use it to describe past situations that you want them to be different. We use I wish to say that we want something to be different from how it is now. In this case, we can use were instead of was with singular pronouns or singular nouns like I, he, she, and it, and anything that refers to a singular thing. Structure. We structure sentences using I wish by starting with I wish plus verb to. Now, let's look at some examples. I wish you had a laptop. You start your sentence with I wish, and after that you add the situation or the thing that you wanted to be different. Like, in this case, you had a laptop. That means you don't have a laptop, but you desire to have one. So you want the situation to be different. As you can see, the verb is in the past simple. Had is the verb to of the verb to have. Next, I wish I could visit my friend in Germany. Again, you start your sentence with I wish, and after that you add could or would to express a situation that you want it to be different. Next one, I wish my family phoned me more. Again, we're using here verb to of the verb phone, in which in this case we only add a D. Finally is I wish we saw our friends daily. The verb so is the past tense of the verb see. Now, let's look at this example. It's cold outside. I am wearing a jacket. In this case, you are talking about something that is happening to you at the current moment. It is happening now. So that's why we've used present continuous. But when you want to express a wish about the present situation, you have to take the tense one step back. That means if it was in the present continuous, you're gonna have to write it in the past continuous. This is for extra information. Now, let's have a look at a quick exercise. I wish I dash not have so much money. We agreed that we are going to use verb to. This is the negative form, so we are going to use did not have. 2. I wish we dash be in the same class. What's the past tense of be in this case? It's was or were. Because the subject is we, so we're going to use were. Next, I wish she dash not hate pizza. It's negative, yes, so we use didn't hate. I wish I dash wear a coat. It's very cold. What's verb to from wear? Yes, it's wore. I wish I dash to my mom more. This is a regular verb. We only add ed, so it's listened. That's all for the I wish rule. Please make sure that you do your homework, which is your workbook page 64. Bye, lovely students. Hope you are all feeling safe. Love, your English teacher. Assalamu alaikum, students. How are you today? I hope everybody is fine and in great health. Today, we're going to start the final topic of the unit, which is writing. Previously, we took different types of writings. Some of them are formal and others are informal. Can you mention some of them? Yes, we have a note, which was in the previous unit. We had a book report, we had a formal and an informal letter. If you have a look on, in your student's book, page 72, there is a girl. What is the girl doing? Yes, she's having an idea. What is the idea that she's having? Yes, it is about a global issue. So, our piece of writing is gonna be dealing with global issues. So, what do you think is the appropriate way of writing in order to deal with such serious problems? Yes, it is an essay. So, what is an essay? An essay is generally a short piece of writing. It usually highlights or tells us the author's opinion. And in this case, we are going to write about global issues and what is your opinion about them, how we can solve them, what extra information we have about them. If you have a look at the piece of writing in front of you, how many paragraphs is it divided into? Yes, it is divided into 3 paragraphs. The first starts from if until do that. The next one starts with the next thing and ends with global warming. The third paragraph is there are some and ends with they smell awful. Now, let's have a quick look at Kathy's essay, If I Ruled the World by Kathy. If I ruled the world, the first thing I'd do is prevent famine and disease in the developing world. In my opinion, that's one of the most serious problems we face. I'd make sure that poor farmers could sell their food to the rest of the world. I'd make more medicines available to people in poor countries. I believe we could save millions of lives by vaccinating children, so I'd make drugs companies do that. Paragraph 2. The next thing I'd do is invest in wind, water, and solar power. We would then have clean energy that wouldn't pollute the plants. In my view, if we could also make petrol-driven cars illegal, we could reduce pollution even more. And this way we could stop global warming. Paragraph 3. There are some less serious things I'd do too. I'd ban rap music because I think it's terrible, and I'd reduce the number of sports programs on TV. Finally, I'd make my brother change his socks every day because they smelled awful. Now we're going to start discussing Kathy's essay. The title is If I Ruled the World by Kathy. When you start writing, please make sure that you write your own name instead of Kathy. The first paragraph starts from If I ruled until companies do that. Okay? So, what were the 2 most important issues or global issues that Kathy wanted to start her paragraph with? Yes, they were famine and disease. Famine means when people are hungry, and diseases are one of them is the one that we are dealing nowadays, which is coronavirus. Next, she mentions how she can solve those problems. So, the first part, which is regarding famine, she said that she will take all the food or the vegetables of the poor farmer and sell them to the world. Okay? The next problem that she tries to solve is diseases. For her, how did she solve diseases? She, yes, um, she made medicine companies make drugs that are available for all the people from around the world, poor and rich. And after that, again, she will provide those poor people with vaccines for their children. That means poor people won't spread disease, and also other people won't have any more diseases. This is all for her first paragraph. So, what do you have to write? You have first to write what is the most serious global issue that you are going to talk about and give solution to each one of them. So if you mentioned one, give a solution to that one, and after that mention the next one and give another solution. This is all for paragraph number 1. Let's have a quick look at the first paragraph. You always start with the title. So the title in this case is If I Ruled the World. And don't forget to mention your name because this is your own writing. You're the author of this essay. The first sentence that you would start with is If I ruled the world. So if you ruled the world, the first thing I would do is and write the global issue that you are going to deal with. You could pick up a disease, you could pick up animal problems, you could pick up poverty. We have lots and different global issues that you can discuss, but the most important thing is within the first paragraph you have to mention the most serious one. After that you say why did you pick that topic. So now you express why did you pick it. You can say it using in my opinion, you can use I think, you can use I believe, you can use in my view, okay? And as I said, you have to tell us why is it serious for you. The final sentence of the paragraph, you started with I'd and make a suggestion. Make a suggestion of how we could overcome that global issue. Okay? So this is how we're going to be dealing with each of those paragraphs, but the only difference is as we go along the paragraphs, the issues start to become minor. They are not that important. Okay? This is the model example I picked for the first paragraph. If I ruled the world by Lisa. If I ruled the world, I would make it a better place. Firstly, I would make it illegal to cut down trees. I'm convinced that we could save a lot of endangered species if we protect our rainforests. I would also make people plant more trees in their gardens. Please make sure that you copy this paragraph on your notebook. Now let's have a quick look at the second paragraph. The second paragraph starts from the next thing until global warming. So, what's the global issue she wants to solve now? Yes, it's global warming. So now she mentioned the problem. The problem for her is global. How did she solve the problem? She solved the problem by investigating in wind, water, and solar power. She gave us extra information about those is that they are clean energy and that they won't pollute the planet. The second suggestion, in order to solve the problem in her own point of view, was to make petrol-driven cars illegal. So this is how she would reduce pollution. As you can see in this paragraph, she only mentioned one global issue, which is global warming, and gave two different solutions. This is all for paragraph number 2. How to write the second paragraph. Start with the next thing I would do. So use this sentence to start your second paragraph. After that, mention the other problem that you want to talk about and give us after that another solution or some extra information about that problem. Within the same paragraph, you can mention again another problem in which you can again you talk about it and you give us a possible solution for that problem. This is how you will construct the second paragraph. This is the model example for paragraph number 2. The next thing I would do is arms trade. In my opinion, there wouldn't be many wars if people couldn't buy and sell guns easily. I think that wars are one of the biggest problems that the world is facing. Now let's have a look at the third and final paragraph. The paragraph starts from "there are some" until "they smell awful." In this paragraph, we're going to discuss a situation that is not that severe or not that serious. And usually you can express it in a fun way to talk about something that annoys you and you are not very happy about it. In Kathy's case, it was rap music and sports programs. So these are the things that she didn't like. What expressions did she use or phrases to say that she didn't like those things or that she wanted to change them? The first one was I'd ban. Ban means that she wants to stop rap music. Okay? And again, she gave her opinion of why she wants to change that situation because they are terrible. The second thing for her was I'd reduce or I would reduce. Okay? Sports programs because she didn't like them. The last thing she mentioned is about her brother's socks, which are smelly, and she wanted him to change them. So these are the problems that she wanted to change. This is all for the third paragraph. Now let's have a look on how we structure the third paragraph. In this paragraph, we talked about the least important issues or global issues that we want to deal with. You could start your paragraph by saying, there are some less serious things I would do, and mention that thing. Start your sentence with I would. Say the problem, give us some extra information about it. Finally, mention a problem, but make that problem a bit funny, just to break the ice of the essay. How do you structure that sentence? Just say, finally, I would make, and mention that problem in a funny way. This is all for the third paragraph. There are some less serious things I'd do too. I would make people paint public buildings in the bright colors. This is the model for the third paragraph. There are some less serious things I'd do too. I would make people paint public buildings in bright colors. If we did that, our cities could be nicer places to live in. I believe that boring colors make people feel depressed. Now, let's have a quick look at exercise 3 on page 72. Complete the sentences with the verbs and adjectives in the box. Let's have a quick look at the words. Found. Found, it's the past tense of find, to look for something. Illegal. Illegal is an adjective, and it means something that is against the law. Optional. It is an adjective which means that you do something voluntarily. Nobody forced you to do it. Pick up. Pick up is a verb in which we mean to collect. Reduce, again, it's a verb in which we mean to minimize something. Smaller, it's from the adjective small. And finally, was, it's the verb to from the verb to be. Number 1. I'd make smoking in all public places. Yes, we know smoking is against the law, so what would be the appropriate word? 1. Illegal. 2. I'd make sure that the government dash a home for every homeless person. What do we do? What are we going to ask the government to do? We're going to ask it to find a home for every homeless. So the appropriate would be the verb found. Number 3. I'd make factories dash the amount of pollution they produce. What are we going to ask those factories to do? To minimize, to make it less. The verb is reduce. I'd make cars dash and cleaner. What are we going to make cars? Smaller, because big cars consume a lot of petrol. 5. I'd make people dash their own litter. Litter means your rubbish, your papers, things that you don't need. So what would be the verb? Yes, pick up. 6. I'd make sure that clean water dash available to everyone in the world. So what do we do with clean water? Was available. Yes. 7. I'd make school dash instead of compulsory. Compulsory, that means you are forced to do it. So you want something to be as you please, so it would be optional. As you can see, these are the answers to exercise 3, page 72. Please make sure that you do your homework, which is your workbook, page 65. Best wishes, your English teacher.